Hey guys, today in the lead up to her band's highly anticipated new single, The Dreamer, I'm joined by the one and only Rosie Jacobson, frontwoman of alt rock trio In Eyes. Thanks so much for being here today, Rosie. It's such a pleasure. How's it going?
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really well. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Um, so,
Amazing.
so firstly, a little bit of a backstory. How did the three of you originally meet, you, Dylan, and Chris? And how did In Eyes come about?
Yeah, so it's been a journey. In Eyes, as the band itself, started off the back end of 2014, very early 2015. I started the band with the bass player from my previous band. Dylan auditioned for that and was brought in 2015 and has stuck with us ever since.
Mhm.
And we had a couple member changes throughout the time. I met Chris at uni, very, very quickly became best friends, and he just fit so perfectly into our band. And the rest is history.
Fair enough. And what got you into the music industry in the first place, or what's your musical background?
I've sung for as long as I can remember. I think the first time I realized I could sing, I think I was like 8,
Mhm.
and I went out for like school choir, and my music teacher was like, "You get all the solos," and I was like, "Why?" But then I realized that it's because I could sing, and so that was really cool. And then I was writing songs when I was little as well, just like making up random. They weren't any good.
Yeah.
Haven't been released those ones. Um, but yeah, I was doing all that, and then I fell in love with like being in bands when I was 15, and I first discovered Hayley Williams of Paramore because
Mhm.
that's everybody's story, I think, in my line of work. But yeah, I watched her. There's a video they did it would have been 10, maybe 12 years ago, and they
Mhm.
sang Misery Business acoustically at, I think it was 97X Green Room. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was 97X Green Room. And I was just like, this voice is unlike anything I've ever heard before. So then I got obsessed with Paramore, and then I was like, I have to do this. And then became obsessed with performing and fronting bands and being the front woman in bands. And then as my music taste got heavier, my music I was writing got heavier. And it led me here.
Yeah. And as for the band name In Eyes, where did that come from, or what was the inspiration behind that?
Incredible story. My favorite story to tell. It's actually not that long. I was friends, still am friends, with a guy named Shay, and
Mhm.
his mum is like the coolest, most awesome, like just coolest mum in the entire world. She was like our friend group's like favorite mum. She would like have all us over all the time, and like it was sick. She was so cool. She thrifted me a pair of jeans one time. She was like, "These don't fit me, and I think they would fit you." And I tried
Mhm.
them on, and they fit me perfectly, and they were like my favorite jeans for ages. And they had a metal tag on the back that
Mhm.
said "In Eyes" on it. It was like printed on the metal tag of these jeans, and I was like, that'd be a cool band name. And now it's my band name, and I still have the metal plate sitting in a little thing over there on my TV stand because I was like, this is sick. So mum jeans is
Yeah,
how I got my band name.
that's an interesting story. Haven't heard anything quite like that before.
Right? Right?
So prior to your reinvention in 2018, I did read that you changed your music style a little bit. What was your music like, and what was it that actually changed in that time?
Back when we started, we were more sort of on like just like the rock, sort of hard rock kind of front. We were kind of to bring up Paramore again, very like Riot inspired, just that real like rock style rather than like the heavy kind of more technical stuff we do now.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because we were younger at the time, had little bit less musical experience at the time, and we weren't really taking in as much influence from other music as we are now. But I think over time we really sort of came into our own and like developed as writers. And then during all of that time as well was when we were having a lot of member changes and in and outs, and just a couple little like setbacks, and then like the one step forward, two step back thing was all happening. And then when we ended up just being a three piece, like me, Dylan, and Chris, we just would straight up just like, this is it, this works, this is the formula that works, this is what we're happy doing and what we love doing, and it just sort of happened and has stayed that way. So yeah, it's pretty
Well,
cool.
it seems to be going well for the three of you, so hopefully you guys stick around for a while more. Um,
Yeah, thanks.
as for touring and live performances, have you guys done many live shows, or is that something you'd love to do more of, or what are your thoughts on that?
We did a while ago. We did from that time of like around 2016 into 2017. We were playing fairly regularly around the Gold Coast and Brisbane, and then in July of 2017, we said like, all right, we need to take some time off. We need to start writing and putting out some songs. And then from that little time, we ended up that like 2017 into 2018 was when we really like settled as a three-piece and had to make do with that. So it was hard translating our songs into a three-piece and then trying to do it live.
Yeah.
It was like tough to figure that out. So we took a little bit of time off then. But since then, we played a couple of shows here and there. We did some for our uni stuff, like our graduate showcase was really fun, and like the Griffith Battle of the Bands we did was really fun. And then we actually opened for the Brave in February, and that was sick. Yeah.
So is
but
that
hopefully so many more.
There we go. So over the last 2 years, In Eyes has dropped two powerful singles, Silver Lining and Time Won't Wait. Both tracks seem to draw a lot of inspiration from a number of other female-fronted alt-rock bands. So who would you credit for influencing the band's current sound and your music?
I mean, the three that always stand out, but they teach us in uni. I got a Bachelor of Popular Music, and they teach you in uni to open with like the for fans of this and this is like kind of like you might like this. And our go-to is like Dream State, Tonight Alive, Hands Like Houses, and North Lane. Those are like the four sort of big ones. But there's influences from like everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. Like there'll be like one song that I'm like, oh, I want this particular section from that Alien Ant Farm song from like 2002, and then like that new Taylor Swift record that came out has one chord in it that I want to put here. So it comes from everywhere, but I would say those four are probably like the main four.
Okay. So your latest track, The Dreamer, is set to debut on September 3rd, alongside its own music video. What can fans expect from this upcoming song, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Dude, I'm so hyped. Like as soon as you were like The Dreamer, I was like, yeah, let's go. Like I'm so excited to finally get it out. It feels like the natural progression for our sound. First of all, like Silver Lining was good, and then Time Won't Wait was better, and now I'm just like, you gotta hear the like anyone who says to me like, oh, I always listen to Time Won't Wait or whatever it is, I'm like, you gotta hear The Dreamer. Like it's so sick. It's heavier. It's a lot more honest as well. It outlines kind of my experience over the last decade being in bands and having the dream to, you know, being the dreamer myself and having my dreams come true, and it still hasn't happened, but it's still going to happen. Like I'm not willing to give it up yet, and all that stuff. And everything that's going into it, like the music video, the color schemes, like our photos, like everything that we've done has been like meticulously planned to a T to make it like the best release and a really comprehensive release. So I'm really excited about it.
Okay, and how long have you been working on that track for then, and the music video and everything that goes with it?
Yeah, so I got sent the instrumental. Our previous bass player Daniel wrote the instrumental and sent it to me. I think in 2018, late 2018, I think I got the instrumental, and I was just like, this is perfect. Don't touch it. It's so good. Let me write to it. I sat down at my boyfriend's kitchen table and wrote the lyric and did the top line for it and fell in love with it. And we've been developing it like since then. We wanted to record it sooner, but coronavirus. So it did slow us down a little bit, but you know, it's finally coming. So it's been the better part of, you know, a year and a half, but it's finally here. And ever since I wrote it, I had the idea of like the imagery and everything that's going to come along with it, and it's all coming to fruition, and it's really cool to see that come out of my head and be like on my screen. Yeah.
So super excited to see that. As for the music video, what's it like actually putting those together and the work that's involved in that aspect?
That was stressful. That was a lot of planning and a lot of money and a lot of working to make the money to and praying that I got the JobKeeper thing and like, you know, all that kind of stuff, which I did. So I was very thankful for that. But it's great. It's super fulfilling. And it's our chance, because we haven't been able to perform in so long, and we weren't even allowed to practice for a while, you know, with lockdowns and social distancing and all that stuff. We hadn't seen each other in ages. So the day that we filmed, we hired a studio in Burleigh from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. I think it was like a massive day session to film. The whole video is done in that studio. And we got there at 8 a.m. and just had the most incredible time, just headbanging, like just rocking out, sweating out, doing everything. There was a dog there. It was amazing. It was a French bulldog and he had a little jumper on. That was the best. But just the vibe of everything was really good. Putting it together was very stressful. Coming home after it was shot was like you're okay now. I had to buy so many props. Oh my God. But it looks amazing. I'm really excited.
Okay, well, we can't wait. So lastly, following this, what else is in the works for In Eyes? So are there any plans for an EP or an upcoming album potentially, or maybe a tour, obviously once coronavirus calms down?
Literally. The only thing I ever want to do is play shows and tour. That's like literally the only thing that I ever want to do. So hopefully a lot more of that. Yeah. We have a couple songs like that we're working on, trying to work them out. But again, it's like kind of tough to practice right now with everything. And Chris is currently in the last 2 months of his honors in his degree. So he's like buckling down in the textbooks right now. So, but we'll get there. Yeah. Always wanting to put out new music, new content, covers, like, anything like that can just keep us on the radar of everything. Plus we just love to do it. Like, even if there's nothing particularly planned, I always wake up with In Eyes as the first thing on my mind. So yeah, hopefully a bunch of stuff if you guys will have us, obviously.
Yeah, we can. Obviously your passion and enthusiasm for the industry and your work, it obviously comes across in this call and everything. You always seem so excited in your music videos, so definitely can't wait to see it. We're super pumped for that. But thank you so much for your time today, Rosie. It's been great chatting, and I really can't wait to hear the track on September 3rd. And to everyone watching, be sure to check out the full article on listenloudblog.com, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Rosie.
Bye. No worries. See you later. I love that. That's sick. I'm so about that.